Namashkar everyone, welcome to the India vACC channel. My name is Bipin and I am a mentor and controller here at the India vACC subdivision on VATSIM. In this video, I will be giving a short brief on Euroscope and the GRP plugin that we use as controllers on the live network. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Firstly, let's download the latest sector files. In order to do that, you head over to the website, go over to ATC resources, go down to sector files, and you download any of these sector files. For now, we're going to be doing on the WebF sector file, so we're going to click on download and it takes you to the AeroNav link. You must be logged into VATSIM in order to download this, so let me do that. Here I have downloaded the sector file. You can right click and extract it however you like. I'll extract it with WinRAR. Once you do that, you open the file and you have to open webfradar.prf. You need to open this prf file using the Euroscope client. So you can right click, you can click open with, and you can choose another app, and you can do it with choose an app on your PC and choose the directory of Euroscope. So this is what you would see when you first initially open the sector file. If there are any issues and you're not able to see anything on your screen, there's a possibility that one of your files or some of your files have been corrupted. So you'll have to reinstall the sector file and you can reopen it. Moving on, these are on the top of the application. You'll have your app different buttons which each serve a different purpose. So the connect button, this will open your connection dialog box. So this one is where you'll input your call sign, your rating, your facility, your name, your CID, the password. Next we have your call sign, so we'll go over that later on. Then we have the frequency, your frequency. We have the master, which basically means what sector file you've opened. So there are different, if you click on it, there are different options for it. There will be different options, such as, because this is the master file, this means it's the whole radar layout of Mumbai, the Mumbai sector. This is the Zulu time. You can see the Zulu time here, or you can see it here as well. You have other settings and quick settings. Both of these, you should not mess with any of the settings. If you've downloaded the latest sector files, then there is no need to mess around any of the settings in this. You have the runway icon. If you click on it, you can select the aerodrome you're controlling. You put it on the departure arrival list and then you select the active runways. All of these, after this, you are not supposed to know anything about it as an S1 controller. This is only S3 and above. Just for your information, this basically stands for the transition altitude. So this is the transition altitude for the aerodrome you're controlling. If you left click on it, it increases by 500. If you right click on it, it decreases by 500. This is a CPDLC setting window. You don't need it as of now, so you can close it. Another video will be made and will explain you about what this is. You have the METARs tab over here. You can drag it and position it however you would like. So you just hold on the top and you drag it around. Sector inbound list, sector exit list, and departure list. These three are already joined together. So to unjoin them, all you have to do is go to quick settings. You have to uncheck these both options, the connect cell to cell and the connect departure to cell. Now you can just remove them and position them however you would like. So I'll position them like this. As an S1 controller, you do not need the sector inbound or the exit list. All you need is the departure list. Once you're done with all of this, if you want to save it, make sure you go on to other settings and you click on save profile as well as save all settings. So all of these settings will be saved as it is. Moving on, let's move on to the connect window. As we're going to be controlling ground today, we're going to do Mumbai ground. So VABB is the ICAO for Mumbai. So VABB, and you have to select it. Do not just type it like this and connect, because then there is 3 info lines that will be shown which are not. If you just type it, it won't show. So you have to go to Mumbai ground and you have to select it. Once you select it, the facility gets automatically selected and you have the 3 info lines. Server, for now, we're going to be on the Sweatbox server. So I'll select Sweatbox. If you're connected to the live network, it'll be on the automatic network. I'll click on save profile and make sure you change the rating to ground whenever you're controlling in the Sweatbox. And then you'll click on connect and yes. We'll be going over on the Mumbai's aerodrome today, so all you have to do is click on F1+2 and it will lead you to the Mumbai aerodrome ground layout. F1 plus different numbers will lead you to different aerodromes. So F1+3 takes you to Ahmedabad, and so on and so forth for all of the others. F1 plus 1 takes you back to the radar view. As we're going to be on Mumbai, so let's just remain on F1 plus 2. Now this is the layout for the ground. We use the GRP plugin, which is which is how this is oriented. If you look at the top of our screen, you can see the metas and you can see the online controllers. Now I know that there is Mumbai radar online whose frequency is 127.9. Now the metas, you cannot see the metas because you have not selected the runway, nor can you see any aircraft on the departure list. So in order to do that, click on runway, select the aerodrome, we're selecting Mumbai for departure and arrival, and select the runway, which is runway 27 for now. Now once you select runway 27, you get all of the aircraft that have currently filed a flight plan in the Mumbai aerodrome to another destination. You can see the winds and the QNH over here. If you want to see the full METAR, you can read at the bottom of your screen. Now if you look at the top of on the top panel of Euroscope, you can see VABB ground, which is Mumbai ground, correct? That's the call sign, that's your call sign. Next you have 121.9. This is the frequency of your this is the connected frequency. This is your controller frequency, which is 121.9. As we're only dealing with ground today, we'll just remove the sector inbound and the exit list. If you don't want to see a departure list, you can click on the up arrow, the departure list disappears. If you click on it again, it comes back. Let's move on and understand the departure list window, different sections of a departure list. There's the number, there's the status, there's the request, there's the time, this is the call sign, RT, whether it's a receive only, voice aircraft or a text only aircraft. This is a departure aerodrome which will remain Mumbai or whatever they've filed. This is the aircraft type and the wake category. So for now it's the A320 and the medium wake category. This is rules of flight, whether it's visual rules or instrument rules, so IFR or VFR. You have the destination, you have the runway, you have the SID and the transition if there is one. You have the altitude, which this is the initial climb of the aerodrome. So if you left click on it and if you scroll up or down, you'll be able to see different numbers. For Mumbai, the initial climb is flight level 80, so I'll select flight level 80. This is requested flight level. This is the final cruise level, either requested by the pilot or assigned by the ATC controller. This is ASSR, which means squawk. You can left click on it and click on get SSR to get the correct squawk. Make sure you get the correct squawk from the Top Sky plugin itself. So by clicking and doing left click on get SSR. This stands for cleared or checked. So that basically means once an aircraft is readback is correct, you just click on checked, or you just click on the check mark, and that stands for the aircraft has been cleared for the IFR, has been given the IFR clearance. Next, PDC, another video will be made about this, explaining about PDC. SPADC scratchpad, a tip for all of you, make sure you type a slash before typing anything. So if you type like direct, if you say Anoli, then direct Anoli gets typed with a slash. Do not just type Anoli because it then messes around with the radar controller screen. You can type in other stuff as well, whatever you'd like if you want to inform another controller about something. For this video, let's deal with Air India 2215 only. Now, in order to open the flight plan and check the route of the aircraft, you have to right click on destination. It opens up the full flight plan setting dialog. So you have the routing here, you have the final level, you have destination, departure, aerodrome, squawk, initial climb. Because I set the initial climb and the squawk, they've already come over here. If you look at other aircraft, such as if I see for Air India 2271, the initial climb is not set, but the squawk is already set as per what it says over here. For Air India 2215, you can see the table below as well to check whether the route is valid or not. The remarks section is where you will put the registration if required and the POP of aircraft before a pushback instruction is given. The format for registration is REG/ and whatever. So if it's Victor Tango India India Delta, then you type Victor Tango India Delta and you click on a space. Then you type in POB. So POB is P/ whatever the POB, assuming it's 123/S, which stands for POB all through security. Make sure you click on OK and not the cross, because if you click on the cross, it does not save over here. The OK will save everything that you have done. Now you must always reselect a SID. So if you have the VACC to alpha departure EPCOS transition, make sure you reselect it so you can see it like this. So you don't need to look back here when giving the IFR clearance. You can just look over here and you can give the clearance. You can select the runway from here. So as it's only 27, every aircraft must be departing from runway 27. Moving on, let's understand the GRP plugin. This is a GRP plugin. There's going to be 3 types of aircraft that you would see with tags at least. There's going to be a blue tag, there's going to be an orange tag, and there's going to be a yellow tag. The blue tag stands for an aircraft who has filed a flight plan from Mumbai, so from the aerodrome that you're controlling. Orange stands for an aircraft has either not filed a flight plan or their flight plan is not starting from Mumbai. Yellow colored tags are those that are arrivals into Mumbai, so arrivals into your aerodrome. Let's move over to the top panel of the GRP plugin. The green panel that you see is of Euroscope. The white panel is of GRP. First, let's hover over settings and understand settings. I would suggest not to mess around with any of these units, any of these labels, list settings, or raw video. So what display means? Display and standby. Standby basically means if an aircraft is not squawking mode Charlie, which is a requirement, their call sign and their tag won't be shown. So if I just remove standby, you can see all of the tags are being shown now. I can move these around and I can rearrange them in whatever way I feel comfortable. Let's close the departure list for now. Now if I click on display and click on standby, because none of these are squawking mode Charlie, I won't be able to see their call sign. For our example, let's take Air India 2215. Let's make Air India 2215 squawk mode Charlie. So now that you see Air India 2215, because he's squawking mode Charlie, we can see his tag, his ground speed, his destination, his aircraft type, and the wake category. In order to understand whether an aircraft is squawking mode Charlie or not, all you have to see is the tags icon. Now, for an aircraft that is not squawking mode Charlie, the icon will be a circle. For an aircraft that is squawking mode Charlie, it will be a square. Another thing that you can see on the tag here is that he's not squawking the correct squawk that we've assigned, because it is red. Because it is a red 4-digit number like 0274. If you'll see on the departure list, we have set the ASSR, which is a squawk, to 0274. Now because it is incorrect, because the aircraft is not correctly squawking that, it is showing as in red color. It is showing in a red colored digit. So in this case, you know that Air India 2215 is not correctly squawking. And you can also see it over here when it is yellow in color. Because it is yellow in color, the aircraft is not squawking the squawk. Now let's squawk Air India 2215 0274. As you see, the red number disappeared. You can only see the call sign, the ground speed, destination, aircraft type, and wake category. And so for the ASSR as well, it changed from yellow, it became grey in color. Let's move on to status as well. So status basically means what is currently happening, what clearance you've given to the aircraft. These are all what there are. This is transferred, this means startup, this means pushback, this means taxi, lineup, and takeoff. This status must only be changed once an aircraft has correctly read back the instruction. So if an aircraft has read back pushback and startup approved facing or whatever direction, whatever readback is correct, and you change the status to push. Same goes for a check mark here. The check mark will only be done once the aircraft has given a full correct readback. Moving on to the request menu. This is where the aircraft will request. So if an aircraft requests you for something and you want to check and you want to keep the aircraft on standby, you can put this request menu and you can put it to request for clearance as of this situation. So you tell Air India 2215 standby for clearance and number 1, because now you see it's going to be number 1 on the list. If Speedbird 198 calls me for clearance, I'll put him on clearance, but he'll be number 2. So Speedbird 198 standby for clearance number 2. The time next to it will show how much time the aircraft has been put on standby for. Once you check this box, the clearance window will disappear. Same goes for push and taxi as well. So request pushback. Once I change the status to push, the request 1 push will disappear. Moving on to the settings. Label filters. Squawk error basically means if the aircraft is not correctly squawking, the tag will not show. Raw video basically means you will be able to see the aircraft's video like this, so yellow colored icon of the aircraft. I would suggest to keep them off and not mess around with it because it's already looking very good. Moving on, we have different windows. This is a secondary aerodrome layout window. Moving on, this is the approach path for all 4 runways, regardless of what runway is active. Then we have the approach path selected for each runway. So if you want for the ILS 27, you have the approach path for runway 27. Next we have the TTT, which is time for touchdown. That's for each runway. Moving on, departure timer, runway 27. This automatically starts once the aircraft crosses approximately 60 knots. Next we have lists. We just need the arrival and a stance list. The departure list is not needed because we use the Euroscope departure list. Runway config already set as per from this icon here, from the runway icon. We've already set runway 27. So that's why runway 27 is in a mix mode, which means departure arrival. RVR, runway visual range from each of the runways. QNH, this will tell you the QNH at Mumbai currently in hectopascals. If you left click on hectopascals, then you can see it in inches and millimeters as well. Same goes for the QFE. The QNH can also be seen on the top screen, and this normal stands for whether the aerodrome is in normal procedures or low visibility procedures, LVP. So let's close this. You have METAR. If you want to read the full METAR for Mumbai, instead of looking down here, you can just see it over here. And the last one is wind rose, which stands for the wind coming on runway 27 or whichever runway we select. On the top right panel, we also see these all options. Make sure you do not uncheck any of these. This is the current date for the day. This is the Zulu time. If you want to see the position of an aircraft, even if they're not squawking mode Charlie, you can just hover above this white panel and it will show you all of the aircraft that are currently in your aerodrome, regardless of whether they're squawking mode Charlie or not. In case you don't know an aircraft's call sign and you're confused about it, you can just click on the aircraft's flight plan. You can look at the bottom. You can see IAC stands for Ibex Airlines. So this aircraft is Ibex Airlines 50. So that is all there is needed to be known as an S1, as a new S1 controller for Euroscope, as well as a GRP plugin. If there are any things that have been missed in this video, that will be told to you by your mentor during your training sessions. Any questions that you may have regarding the GRP plugin or the Euroscope setup can be asked to your mentor during your training sessions. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully this has helped you in setting up Euroscope and getting to know about the GRP plugin and all of the functions that are and the procedures that go behind what is a controller, what being a controller is. Wish you all the best during your training sessions and hope to see you controlling. See you.